Good morning, friends. Welcome back to the Farm2Table Show morning edition, where we rise with the rooster, sip coffee on the porch, and put self-reliance into action, one sunrise at a time. Today, we're in step 5 of our seven steps to self-reliance. Strengthen your local roots. And we've got a bold one for you, one that flips the script on everything modern economy has taught you. The title of today's show is Barter Economy 2.0. How to trade like the system is already gone. Because, well, let's be frank, let's be real. If things got tight tomorrow, really tight, you can't eat a debit card, you can't fix a truck with a check, and you can't warm your house with a paper dollar, unless you burn it. But one you can do above all things, you can barter. That's right, you can barter. So, what have we forgot? The myth of money. Money, i.e., dollar, coins, and digital balances, are just a placeholder for value, but we treat them like the value itself. And that, my friends, is dangerous. The average person today can't fix anything they own. A lot of them don't even know where their food comes from, doesn't know their neighbors well enough to ask for help. Hmm. Instead, they've got PayPal, Venmo, and Amazon Prime. Nothing wrong necessarily there, but if the dollar collapses, the cards stop working, or even if you just want to opt out of a broken system, barter's there to step in. And not like we're back in the Stone Age either. I'm talking about Barter Economy 2.0, a smart, intentional, localized economy where relationships are currency and everyone's got something to offer. So let's break this down. What is Economy 2.0? Bartering 2.0 is not just trading chickens for firewood, although that's not bad. It is skills for shelter, surplus for service, maybe labor for livestock, you know, time for training. It's flexible, people centered, and mostly off grid. It doesn't just cut out the middleman, it strengthens the middle community. And when you trade like the system's already gone, you're not paranoid, you're prepared. Now let's talk about some advantages of barter over cash. Hmm. Let's get practical. Here's what barter can do that money can't. Number one, builds trust. A sale is transactional, but a trade is relational. When you barter, you talk, you ask questions, you start friendships, and that trust will pay dividends far beyond the deal. Tell you something else it does. It circumvents inflation. I love that. When prices rise, the value of your skills and goods often outpaces currency. Barter holds its value in the real world even when the market doesn't. And that's with today's economy up and down, that's a good thing. But here's another thing is it strengthens the local economy. Barter doesn't leak. The value stays within your town, your circle, or even on your homestead. And that's how real communities can grow. Man, yeah. And let's get into some of the advanced trades we've seen from listeners or our own experience. Okay. All right. Labor for livestock. One family helped a local rancher mend fences and muck stalls every weekend for a month. In return, a bred dairy cow. No cash, changed hands, but both parties walked away stronger. Good neighbors. A handyman he fixed plumbing and wired solar on a tiny cabin for a year of rent-free living on the land. That gave him a debt-free start, and the landowner gained a self-reliant caretaker. Not a bad deal. One guy had 40 dozen eggs a week. A lot of eggs. More than they could sell. Used them to pay for a local teen to clean out coops, weed the garden, and help with feed runs. Eggs, not cash. Like that. Tool for time. Another homesteader, well, he might have lent out his sawmill in exchange for 10 hours of labor stacking and drying the cut wood. These things are happening right now everywhere, quietly, smartly, under the radar. And that's an important thing. You know, I'll get into something here in a minute, but just remember that one. Uh, Now, how do you start that barter habit? You don't have to throw away your bank card tomorrow. Oh, no, please don't do that. But you can start replacing a few transactions here and there with barter. And here's how to build some of that. Hmm. Invent inventory what you have first and foremost, and then write it down into three categories. Skills being number one. What can you do? All right. What can you do? Hmm. That's a big thing. Do you have a particular skill? Are you gifted at something? Do you, whether it's welding or whether it's building or whether it's some other type of thing like that? Okay. Goods. What do you have extra of? Is there something, are your chickens producing more eggs than you can use? Or, do you got more milk off that cow than you can consume? Things of that nature. Maybe you've grown a garden big enough that you have things that uh, you can trade out of that or take to the local market and trade. Now, tools and space. Now, this one's a little touchy for me, and I'll back up on this one. Tools and space. What can you share or lend? Now, if you're like me, I'm pretty protective of my tools. They don't just go anywhere without me being attached to them. My son-in-law, right here on the property. Yeah, he uses my tools. I've let my son-in-laws do it, but I've got to be honest with you. Usually, if my tools travel, I'm traveling with them. Um, just kind of one of those things. But still, yet you can make deals with people. You can work things out. And it's worth doing. And you'll be surprised what you're already sitting on when it comes to value. All right. Now, number two is you identify a need. Now, first thing, what do you consistently need or wish you had? I can think of a box blade right now. But anyway, firewood maybe, help during a harvest, meal prep once a week, maybe tractor work. Hmm. Once you know what you want and what you offer, barter can get real fast. Okay. Make a simple trade offer. Now, here's a tip: don't overcomplicate it, keep it simple. All right. Try a phrase like, hey, would you be open to trade? I've got X and need Y. Most people are kind of flattered by that if you come to them with them. It's just only human. Hey, this person wants what I've got. And that's just how it is. So maybe you set up a barter meet, or a barter board. Like uh, uh, one of those boards at like a convenience store and places like that where people can post their cards and that type of thing. But anyway, uh, and if you want to make it bigger, let's take it community wide. Think farmers market, but no cash allowed. We call those swap meets down here where I'm at. Um, anyway, set a date, promote it on local social, and give folks simple guidelines. Each person brings goods, a skill list, or a flyer of what they're offering. Keep it casual, friendly, and safe. Themes will help too, like garden surplus and canning, winter prep gear swap, skill share Saturday. Mm. Now, on a barter board, you can also set up a physical bulletin board, like I was talking about, local feed store, library, co op, or a digital one via Facebook group or Telegram channel. Posts like this: have raw milk, welding skills, chainsaw sharpening, need, canning jars, babysitting, fall cleanup help. Simple, transparent, and repeatable. All right. So, there you go. Now, here's what I said I was going to talk to you about here in a minute: navigating the legal and tax gray zones. So, let's talk legality for a minute. Technically, very technically, barter is taxable income if it's done for business purposes and tracked formally. But let's be real. Most local casual barter falls into what we call the gray zone of neighborly exchange. A few tips: don't advertise barter for your licensed business unless you're ready to report it. Keep it personal, small scale, and local. And avoid trade in anything regulated: raw milk, meat, firearms, unless you know your laws. Okay, yeah, that's what I said. He said, be careful on tax advice. Yeah, no kidding. I'm not telling you to break laws. Okay, we're just saying that friendly help between neighbors has been happening long before the IRS showed up, and it'll still be happening long after. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Okay, but definitely be careful there. Uh, watch what you do. But anyway, um, one thing that happens, and this is kind of, I don't know if you want to call it a swap, but it's just kind of one of those things, and it was a small town, and it had a freeze, and locals were tired of waiting for outside help because the roads were ice, stores were empty, power was out, the deal. Some of those natural disasters we've seen recently. Anyway, so they got together at a local church, and they held out a swap. One man brought chainsaws and knew how to use them. Another had propane tanks and a big heater. One person brought dozens of meals, frozen trays. Homeschool family brought board games, warm clothes. The local herbalist passed out immune boosting tinctures and fire cider. No money, just trade. A few days later, a neighbor with an excavator cleared the road for free. Someone brought firewood to a widow. A welder repaired a downed gate so cattle wouldn't escape. The result? Community, confidence, resilience. Not a dollar exchanged, but value flowed like a river. All right. I mean, that's what it's ultimately about. And this is why it builds stronger people. This is what the system doesn't want you to see. Barter makes you braver because instead of waiting for someone else to meet your need, you look across the fence and say, let's help each other. Makes you smarter. You start leaning on what things are actually worth in labor, time, risk, and effort. And it makes you more trustworthy. People remember how you handled a trade more than how you handed over a dollar. And that's a fact. You know what, most of all, it makes you more free. Okay. And I'll tell you a little personal story. Now, Keith and I grew up on a family of what we called horse traders. Trades and swaps were always done. And I've got an uncle. He's quite older now, but I traded off and on with him for years, different things. We did all kinds of swaps and trades. And I honestly, in all the deals we did together, in all the deals over those years, I might not have felt like I was on the losing end of that deal, until later it would kind of click in my head that I just kind of got the losing end of that. But one time, I think in all those years, that I actually felt like I came out on top. Um, but a good barter, no matter what the value of the item that you brought, uh, shysters, my brother says. Anyway, um, a good deal is when both parties walk away happy. That's a good deal. Okay, I don't care what it says. When both parties walk away smiling, that's a good deal. But so I grew up around it, and for me, I still enjoy it when the opportunity happens. And I need to maybe could maybe get back into it. I don't know. But anyway, here's our challenge. Let's get personal. This is something you can start. Make one trade offer. Reach out to someone local and propose a small barter. Nothing too big. Eggs for bread, yard work for wood, a service for a skill. Make it small, but make it genuine. Maybe host a micro swap. Invite two or three neighbors over. Ask them to bring one surplus item or one skill or service to offer. Right? You'll be amazed what opens up and when people know it's okay to trade again. Uh, and yes, he does. He does know who I'm talking about. Anyway, now start a have/need list in your community group. Use your local Facebook or even church bulletin. Post a sample format and encourage others to post once a week. You'll start seeing the local economy shift. And that's it. So here's the thing. When I say trade like it's already gone, okay, friends, we're not saying ditch your job or your wallet. What we are saying is start living like the system has already failed. By the way, it has. It's just being propped up. But that's a different comment. So you won't be afraid if it ever does. Okay. So start planning, start working. Barter isn't just survival, it's revival. It revives relationships, it revives usefulness, and it can even revive community pride. And in the end, the person who can trade wins more than the person who can spend. All right. This week, skip the checkout line and try the barter lane instead. Keep growing, keep building, and start trading like the system's already gone. Okay. Conversation Keith and I were having last night was the dollar is getting weaker. Okay, it's been happening. The dollar is worth more today than it will be tomorrow, and so on. So do the best you can with the things you have, and that's it. But like I said, start trading like that system's already gone. All right, guys. Well, good morning, everybody. active little chat going on over there. I was trying not to let it distract me too much, but Keith was cracking up on some things over there, keeping me going. But let's scroll on down here. All right. Good morning, Joy Bartlett. Good morning, Robbie. And let's see. Good morning, Scotty. Ed Kirkpatrick. Good morning, Jeff. Welcome in. Glad you're here. It is live, Ryan, today. I was, in fact, I got home really late last night from work, and so I was scrambling around trying to print everything and get it going. And that's the nature of sometimes running just a few minutes behind. Let's see. There's Ed. Let's see. There's Bro was in, which I already knew he was there. Good morning, Teresa Jukowitz. Glad to see you in. Let's see where we got here. Yep. It's, I started it and got interrupted by my grands. I'll tell you, oh, y'all talking about landman. Yeah, no, I'm out. Let's see. Let's see. Da, 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 da. What do we got? Anything good here? Parallel economy 2.0. Yes, that's something Keith and I often speak about and refer to as parallel economy. That's something we always talk about. And Scotty, I'll trade you a bottle cap for a string. Keith come back, make it 2 caps, and you got a deal. There you go. See, there it is, right there. Silly, but an example. And hey, yeah, some of y'all, barter stories, and I think I'm gonna start reading through. Well, anyway, sorry that. Anyway, we'll ignore that. We trade eggs. First, my cousin's honey. There you go. That's like I said. Yeah, Keith said that's a sweet deal. Yeah. Let's see. Kirkpatrick, I'm gifted with a bunch of BS. Wonder what I can trade that for. Laughs, probably. And I like Scotty's answer. Be careful. That can go a long way. Yes, no taxi bro. Keep it on the down low. Hashtag down low. Barter. Hashtag barter brothers. Shysters. Yeah. I think I spelled with a Y, but anyway. Uh, Rebecca. Good morning, Rebecca. Touch my yarn. They learn how to barter, and yes, you have a nice skill to barter with. That's a fact. Those, your crocheting and everything is. Anyway, let's see. Did you know that a way to raise? I'm going to pull this up. Keith's telling me not to give tax advice, and here he goes. Did you know that a way to raise taxes is when a government prints money, which leads to inflation? There you go. Let's see. We trade information, ideas, and bad jokes on here. That is a good one, Jeff. I appreciate that. Oh, that is too funny. Love you guys. That is great. You've caught on quick, Jeff. You've caught on quick. uh, if the shoe fits, wear it. Nah, they're not bad jokes. They might be a little corny, what we call dad jokes from time to time, but no, they're not bad. And Keith said, if the shoe fits, wear it. That's great. Well, all caught up on the roll call. Good deal. Good deal. So good to see you all in this morning. Of course, as y'all figured out, it is live, Ryan. And talking about something that is a key part of step 5 with your community, and that is bartering. And something that Keith and I have promoted often is bartering, is trading out services. Doing things that circumvent the fiat currency system. You know, and anytime I've sold things, on marketplace or anything, I usually, every once in a while I don't, but usually I've always put, open to trades. So, see what people come up with. And it's now, Keith, are you asking if it's good to, uh, good to see me live or alive? But anyway, I named the rooster Johnny. Okay, so the rooster's name is Johnny. So we got Johnny and Hank. We got a pretty good crowd going over there. Anyway, all right, that's a good one. But anyway, as bartering is just something that's good. I had I had a motorcycle I was getting rid of, and I was needing a car hauling trailer. We did a trade. But anyway, so just got to be able to do those things. I traded out some mechanic work for a batch of lawnmowers. Still don't know who came out on the better end of that deal. I got a feeling that same uncle, but it's just the way it goes. Sometimes you trade things out, and but anyway, so that's the heart and soul of that. As we get into step 5, building a strong community. That's an important aspect to it because of just what it does, and how much freedom it brings and how much independence that it gives. And I'm scrolling back up through my notes so that way I make sure I got tomorrow's topic ready when we get ready to talk about it. Oh my goodness. Scroll. Anyway, so hope some of y'all have done this before, and maybe understand what it's about. There we go. All right. Couldn't come up with anything else at 4 a.m. Well, hey, got to do what you can there, Scotty. Got to do what you can. So let's get into the redneck weather report. Let's see what's happening out there in the weather. Jack is on the road again, and is down in Texas, unfortunately, like I said, for a funeral, viewing and funeral service. But anyway, still yet able to get out his redneck weather report. That wasn't it.
Good morning, rednecks. It is 66 degrees this morning. It's June the 10th, 2025. We got a 2-mile-an-hour south wind, making it feel like it's 65 degrees. Dew point's 59, and we're going to get to 88 today. God bless y'all. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good.
Wow, I think Jack was out in the hallway at a hotel room or motel room. That's what that sounded like. But anyway, got that Texas down there, and yeah, look at that hat. Let's see. Fair enough, Johnny. It is. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, the voice sounding a little rough still, but now I love that hat. But he is down in Texas, and so prayers for Jack and their family as they're going through the things they're going through. Let's get into today's brain buster and see if we have one coming back the other way here. If life is unfair to everyone, does that mean life is actually fair? I don't know. If life is unfair to everyone, does that mean life is actually fair? Hmm, I think it might. I don't know. Two negatives equals a positive. Is that? I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. There's your thought for the brain buster for the day. Thought for the day. Question of the Anyway, now, quote of the day, of course, goes directly to, um, nope. Anyway, quote of the day: the propensity to truck, barter, and exchange one thing for another is common to all men, and to be found in no other race of animals. Adam Smith said that the propensity to truck, barter, and exchange one thing for another is common to all men and can be found in no other race of animals. Adam Smith. Very good. So obviously tied into today's show topic. But anyway, so yeah, get out there and see what you got. See what you got to trade. Problem I got when I get things is I usually don't want to let go of them. I have a hard time with that. Now I have bought things specifically for that purpose, and please tap the what? Uh, my unfair is more than your unfair. Fair is like normal. What is fair? What is normal? Oh, thumbs up. Okay, the little icon come up. Thank you, Rebecca. Yeah, everybody hit the old thumbs up. Thank you. Yeah, fair is like normal. What is fair? What is normal? There you go. That's it. Yeah, that's the human condition. I think is like we just, life's not fair. That's not fair. I always just say, in fact, it was something my dad said to me, but talking about fair fights, we was talking about fighting. He said the only person complaining about an unfair fight was the one who just lost. So kind of maybe that's true. I don't know, but anyway, but I do encourage, like I said, setting up barter networks or getting that into bartering and stuff. Um, it's going to become a valuable thing, and so it goes back to something we talked about earlier in one of the other steps, which was building your skills, your skills toolbox. Building out that skills box because it does give you something to trade. You know, and it gives you almost a currency in a sense. If you've got a service or a skill set that you can do, and people would need that, that's something you can trade. And like I said, out of surplus, or you come into good things. But anyway, the hashtags are starting to roll across the screen there, which tells me it's time to start breaking down the old upcoming events and doing all that stuff. But anyway, just think about that, And as we said, hashtag Barter Brothers, hashtag down low, bro. Oh my goodness, y'all guys are killing me over here this morning. Anyway, excuse me. Let me see. I'm gonna go over here and do something right quick. Let's see. Let me go over here. I got to do this right fast, and because I didn't do it yesterday, and it was. Let me see, bro. What was the name of that? What was the name of that event that you said that Zach talked about? Anyway, put that in the comments if you would. Anyway, in the chat, let's start going through upcoming events that I do have. I know there is one coming up here in June that's going to get added here in a minute as soon as Keith reminds me of the name of it. But anyway, Modern Homesteading Conference in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, June 27th through 28th. ModernHomesteading.com is where you can find out more information. Of course, they're on the Facebook and all those places as well. September 5th and 6th, Ozarks Homesteading Expo, Marshfield, Missouri. Looking forward to that one. Things are hopping and popping and getting ready for that. And anyway, now that Cheryl's back from the Homestead Festival, may have to reach out to her about some stuff there. But anyway, Ozarks Homesteading Expo. Get that one on your plans. Homestead Freedom Festival. Thank you, bro. Anyway, Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, September 26th to 27th at the Southeast Expo Center in McAlester, Oklahoma. That one is ramping up. It's getting like it's going to be good. Way better. It's going to be better than last year. Last year was great. I'm looking for a second year of repeat greatness and better. Still looking for vendors. There's still open space for vendors. When we say that, it sounds crazy, but the floor space in this facility is huge. I mean, I'm talking drive semi trucks around inside this facility. Huge space for vendors, and so a lot of room for vendors and all that stuff. So Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous.org, or find them on Facebook, Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous. And of course, Homesteaders of America Conference, October 10th and 11th. Let's go up here. Let me do the old thing. Homestead Freedom Festival. I'm going to type that in so I get the right dates. Bear with me, guys, while we do a Homestead Freedom Festival right there. How about that? All right, we're going to bring that up. Yep. Okay, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to share this with y'all guys. Since I brought it up, I'm going to share it with y'all. Share. Okay. All right. As it is right there, June 20th and 21st. So that's coming up here pretty soon. Midwest Homesteaders event. South Fork Homestead Freedom Festival. Okay. Let's see. Tickets available. Limited event. South Fork Homestead in Paris, Illinois. All right. Cool. Check that out right there, folks. Old school right there. A 2-day event filled with distinguished speakers, demonstration in Paris, Illinois. I'm part of a growing movement to acquire the essential skills of animal husbandry, seed saving, food preservation, honeybee management, and so many other essential homesteading skills. There we go. All right. And they've got VIP access is out, but they do still have general admission. All tickets are final. Here's the speakers. Check this out. Joel Salatin, Dr. Temple Grandin, see Michael Wilson, Jim and Joel Corbeau, Jill Reagan. We heard from Rachel Hester, Zach Bauer, our good buddy Zach's going to be there. Let's see. Yep, David Stelzer, he'll be there. Okay. Hey, it looks like a great event right there. So anyway, yeah, looks like a great event. And there's the link. I'm going to pin that right there. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Scotty's got one for us on the way out the door here this morning. Farm to Table is very stable. Join the family and fun if you're able. We will fill you with lots of useful information in this loving Farm to Table nation. I love that, Scotty. I love that. That is awesome. Figure out how to hide this. I want to see if I can. I want to save as. Working on it. It's thinking about it. I'm trying to see if I can save this. No, let me see. Save. See if it did it. Okay. Okay, never mind. That's doing something I shouldn't have done. But anyway, I was wanting to save that right there. It's saving it. I'm going to save that. I'm trying to save that, Scotty. That's pretty good stuff. May have to. Well, I know what it's doing. And all right. Slowly. But anyway, let's see. No, can't do that. Anyway, it was doing something else. Let's see what that does. Nope, can't do that. Never mind. Anyway, enough of that. That is awesome stuff right there, Scotty. And you pushed me over on time. How about that? There you go. But there's the link right there. It's pinned in for the Freedom Festival. Looks like that will be a good one, the Homestead Freedom Festival. And anyway, here we go. Tomorrow's topic is community roots, creating the homestead hub your town needs. If it doesn't exist, build it. I like that. Community roots, creating the homestead hub your town needs. Keith got it. Cool. Thank you for texting that over. But anyway, I think we like that. That's good stuff, Scotty. Anyway, that is a wrap for today on the Farm to Table Show Morning Edition. Thanks for joining us as we strive towards building stronger communities for now and in the future. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. It is the best way to stay connected and help grow the conversation about food, farming, and community. Until next time, keep your roots deep and your vision growing. Good food starts with great people just like you. Remember, we are hashtag stronger together, hashtag think outside the big box store, hashtag tablers unite, hashtag barter brothers, hashtag down low bro, and whatever other ones I might have missed up through there. But anyway, that's what you're here for. That's my admin guy in the back. But anyway, be a blessing to someone today. I've already been blessed by just spending time with you all today. But be a blessing to someone. We will see you all on the other side tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., right back here. And everybody have a great and wonderful day. And as Keith said, be glorious. Have a great day. And let's let Hank take us on out of here.
No humans were harmed in the production of this podcast.